Thank you, Kat. It really has been excellent, and I hope that you all have found this educational experience is transformative over the past 2 days, as I have. It's my pleasure now to moderate this session of distinguished panelists focusing on the issue of combating counterfeits in medical devices. We'll start off with a presentation today, and then we're going to move to a panel discussion where we will welcome some other individuals to join the discussion. So I want to start off with to introduce the presentation panelist, Mr. Görkem Aydın. He's the international marketing manager at VISIOTT, specializing in track and trace solutions and vision inspection systems, with a fervent enthusiasm for data analytics and international trade. He thrives in fostering global partnerships and driving tangible results. Please welcome Mr. Görkem for his presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I'm very happy to have a chance to make this presentation today and to see you all here. Let me take one. Sorry, I just like to make the presentation like as is. So today I'm going to talk about the little bit about the counterfeit, about the medical devices and how it is affecting the African continent and what can be the solution for this problem. I'm going to start with defining the counterfeit in the medical device, and I'm going to put some facts and the classification about the medical devices, and then I'm going to tell a little bit about our story as VISIOTT. So when we talk about the medical device and the counterfeit, actually we are very precious about what is the counterfeit product in the medical devices. These are the products that mimic the authenticity of the devices, and this is like approved device, but it is not actually approved, and it has a lack of proper certification, safety, and effectiveness. So these are the actual devices that not helping the patient. At the same time, it is damaging the patient life. So this is very critical. And as I figure out from my research, around like a 10% of the medical devices in Africa are the counterfeit. This is, I think, huge number, especially if we think that the market size of the medical devices in whole continent is around like between $7 to $10 billion. And in the upcoming years, these numbers is predicted to be around like $15 billion. So 10% of these devices are fake. So this is a very huge number. And I don't know what is the solution can be to track these medical devices. But we know one solution. Before I go to the solution, let me give some other numbers also from the market. As I understand, in the medical device, the class 1 have the 15 to 20% of the market in the whole continent. And the class 2 devices are like 30 to 35%. And the class 3 are 40 to 45. And the class 4 devices are around like a 5 to 10% of the market share. And for the in vitro, it's also around like a 25 to 30. And it's a growing market because of the population is growing. And there's also chronic disease. You guys maybe know more than me. And there's a regulatory landscape also discussing now. I don't know what can be the solution, but we know one good example from the pharma industry. Since 2008, in all around the world, for the pharma industries, track and trace as an implementation has a very good application examples all around the world. In Turkey, it started at 2008 for the tracking the reimbursement products. So most of the medical devices are also in the reimbursement programs in some countries. And this allows manufacturers and the government to trace all the life cycle of the drugs. And it is also possible for the medical devices too. It allows also safety for the patients, also it allows the accountability, and also it allows the market transparency. For example, for preparing this presentation, I had to dig out a lot of different places, like the World Trade Map for the HS codes, etc. But because of it can be easily tricked, it is not possible to give the correct market size about the medical devices. So it also helps to track all this. From this perspective, I want to tell something about how it can be possible for the application on the medical devices, the track and trace system, from the same examples that we are doing in the pharma industry also. So there is a two different example of the barcodes and the data matrix code we can apply on the medical devices. This is already like applicable in some other regions like European Union, in Turkey. For most of the medical devices, you have to apply some barcodes or the data matrix codes. The tracking part is a little bit different. I'm going to tell in the upon. So this is a basic data matrix code. It's including the DI, which is the device identifier. It comes from the manufacturer, actually, and it's making the device's first unique part. And then you can add the expiration date, lot and batch number, and the serial number. The serial number part is a little bit a discussion nowadays in all around the world because it is not possible right now for the medical device industry, as I understand, to apply all the devices to track the unit base. But for most of the countries nowadays, they are making the data matrix code apply on the label as the lot or batch number track. And another one is also the human-readable code. It's also including the same informations. By print and applying these codes on the medical devices or in the secondary package, like on the boxes, you are actually giving one identification for the medical device. And then, with the aggregation, you can create a parent-child relation between the boxes and the pallet and the product. By creating this hierarchy, actually, we are creating a one harmonical system which can create a whole different area. So this is actually the ISO 95 standards that what we are calling. It is actually like showing how we are managing the all data between the government and the patient. We call there's a one level, it's a level one. It's the manufacturing level. In this level, all the medical device manufacturers can use the one machine to print and apply any of those codes on the medical devices. And also one of other machines, they can make the aggregation, which is allowing any devices to create a parent-child relations between the cases, pallets, and the unit itself. On the second level, they are creating all these informations as a one data. And then they are sharing this data with their local SAP or any ERP level systems. And in the government part, when the government's creating a one platform to gather all the informations from the market, they are creating a one level 4 or level 5 system. So in this hierarchy, if the manufacturers creating the hierarchy between the units and then sharing these numbers with the government, it's allowing all the manufacturers and the government to track where this device manufactured, to which warehouse it dispatched, and from which warehouses is dispatched to which pharmacist or to another store, and from there, which patient get the device. This allows governments, non-governmental organizations, the manufacturers to track where the counterfeit take apart. And then it is maybe possible to prevent the counterfeits upon the policies. Let me show you one of our video machines that how it is practicing the print and apply on the some of the boxes. Is it possible? So this is one of our basic models. as you can see, it's printing the data matrix code on the side of one box, and there's a one camera system. That camera, at the same time, verifying the code, which is true or not. And if it is not true, it rejects directly and allowing the other products to go from the line. So this is a very basic system, and it is applicable for most of the devices in the industry. And this is another machine which is creating the parent-child hierarchy between the two products. So this is one of our manual models. So by just using the printer, you got all medical devices in one cases. You print all the codes, and you are just putting the case by arranging the line. The camera scans all the codes basically and memorize them, and then saving on the cloud, making all different cases together as a one unit. So it created another layer also. At the end, it just make parent-child relations between the each small boxes and the all cases. And after that, you are just getting another label for that case. And after that, if you want to make a palette, you can also make the palette and making the same hierarchy for the another level. This is allowing all the system from top government to the manufacturer to track all the life cycle of the products after dispatch from the factory, so that we can track to which warehouse it dispatched, from which warehouse to the which pharmacy or the medical device store it dispatched, and from there to the which patient it dispatched. Government can also track it, and the manufacturer also can track it. This is a very important part of the dealing with the counterfeit, I think. So this is one of the domestic model, how the system is working actually. So I just wanted to explain a little bit more before the talking about how the logistic can handle it also. So manufacturer can serialize all the products in the factory and can dispatch to a warehouse. At the same time, they can share all the knowledge with the level 5 government authority through their platform, and they can share all the numbers also with the warehouse too. And now government has numbers. And from the warehouse, when they dispatch any units to outside, they're also sharing with the level 5 authority. This is a very easy model for all the domestic operations inside the country. But there's also another model. I think it is the most unique one for the African continent, because most of the medical devices are importing. In this model, the manufacturer, like in Europe, in USA, in other countries, they can serialize the all medical devices according to the regulations in the Africa. And they can serialize the products, and they can send it directly to the warehouse in the country, in Africa, or they can send the products without serialization. And in this scenario, any company, any importer or the logistic company in Africa, they can build this system according to the regulations in their warehouse, and they can also make the serialization and aggregation in the customs or in their logistic warehouse when they import. And after that, the delivery methodology can be the same. So for that one also, the importers, the logistic companies or the 3PL companies, gonna need rework stations or aggregation stations to create the parent-child hierarchy between the two products. So I think that's all from my side. If you guys have any questions, I can have, or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Görkem. Why don't you go ahead and join us over here. And I'd also like to now invite Dr. Noha to the stage to proceed to the panel. Dr. Noha El Hariri is the General Manager of the General Administration of Medical Devices Registration Egyptian Drug Authority since 2020. She is also the Supervisor of Investment Support and Localization of Medical Devices, Medical Equipment, and IVDs at EDA. And thanks to both of you for talking about this truly important topic. Dr. Noha, I'd like to start off with a question for you. What role can regulatory bodies and governments play in strengthening the supply chain for medical devices in Africa?
Well, first I'd like to highlight that medical device is a very important topic that every regulatory authority must put a very strength regulation in order to control and compete any counterfeit product because medical device can extremely affect the life of the population. So we have to counterfeit, we have to be against these counterfeited products. For Egyptian Drug Authority, we have a strong regulation that is against these products. This is starting from the inspection teams and the manufacturing process that we are following. Either it's imported, so we have to track any documents and be sure that this product that is manufactured according to these standards will be the same like the one that will be in our local market. During the importation also, as my colleague said, we have implemented the UDI, that it must be now on the label before arriving this product to the Egyptian market. So it's very easy to track the medical device in the Egyptian market. We try to make also an awareness session for the healthcare professionals and for the end user to know the importance of reading about the product that they are using and don't go easily for the products that are easily affordable or accessible or with low prices, because of course if you find a product with a low price, you have to check why this price is very low, because the counterfeited products skip the legal framework or skip the standardized regulation, so they can afford their product in a less price.
As far as the education of healthcare professionals, are they being educated in how to look for UDI codes as well, or is it more broad-based as far as looking at pricing and access challenges?
You are asking about the education for the healthcare?
Yeah, the healthcare.
Yeah, this is done from our pharmacovigilance team.
Okay.
Okay.
For Mr. Görkem, you talked quite a bit about implementation and use of UDI and workflows in order to manage that, and talked about the issue of the challenge for Africa being about 10%. As far as the global scope of counterfeit medical device products, how does that compare?
So thank you very much for the question. So from the global perspective, the medical device market is very huge. I can give some numbers from Europe, for example. In the European market, like almost 35% of the medical device have somehow counterfeit prints. I'm not talking about all the 35% is counterfeit products. Also, the manufacturer has some sites, because more than 35,000 middle manufacturers are actively working in Europe, and they are sending most of their products to either USA or to Africa. And sometimes they are taking some steps inside to make some counterfeits. So it's also affecting. But genuinely, we are talking about around like 12 to 17% of all medical devices in Europe is directly full fake, coming from the Southeast Asia region, of course.
So you're talking, effectively, you're talking about the scope of the problem where the impact of the problem may be different, but as far as the percentage, it's fairly similar across the regions that you mentioned.
Yes, it is similar.
I think this next question for Dr. Noha first. How can healthcare providers and consumers be educated about the dangers of counterfeit medical devices and how to identify them?
We have to raise awareness of the end user of the product, either they are the patient himself or the healthcare professional, and increase the awareness which medical device to use and how to get this medical device from a confident place or a confident distributor. And I guess we have to make more sessions for this education. Sorry, I forgot the other part of your question. What was it?
Yeah, I'd say it's really about how to kind of inform them about identifying those
This
challenges
is a
and
counterfeited
dangers.
product. Yeah, by the QR code or the UDI, we can check this product because, as we saw in the previous presentation, the UDI is a unique device identifier. Once you scan this product, you can have all the history of this product, when it was manufactured, where it was manufactured, so we can track any medical device with a UDI.
Mr. Görkem, any feedback on that as well, as far as about informing the healthcare professionals as well as consumers about how to use these UDI codes effectively?
Well, there's some good examples around the world, also some bad examples, but right now, there's some discussions from like in Turkey, in Brazil, in some EU countries about like the new QR codes along with the data matrix codes to put on the drugs or the devices, doesn't matter. The key issue is like to create an awareness on the patients when they, doesn't matter if they are accessible or not, when they access through that QR codes or the data matrix codes, they are gonna go to one local server provided by the manufacturers under the government regulations, so that they can watch some videos about the awareness, and then they can also get some information about the prospectus digitally. That can be one of the things, and I think the data matrix system allowing at the same time both tracking all the life cycle of the products, and also it can be possible to embed these informations on the data matrix code, can brought the awareness on the patient's life too. This can be one of.
Thank you. Dr. Noha, one more question. What are some of the innovative solutions being developed to address the problem of counterfeit medical devices?
I guess having a very simple way like a mobile app or a QR code that anyone on his home can use this app or scan the product with his mobile. I guess this will be very accessible and easy way to track the product or to identify whether it's fake or the original one.
Mr. Görkem, any other innovative solutions and ideas that you've heard of coming into the market?
Yeah, I mean, for the last decades, the printing technology advanced a lot. The piezo printing, the thermal printing, and the inkjet printing. They are all creating a lot of advance for the secondary packaging. But I think the key issue in the medical device is the primary packaging. For the primary packaging, the laser technologies is, I think, the one advanced part that can be applied for the part as a part of track and trace. And the second one is the digital mark. I think with the support of the AI, these technologies can be widely available in the upcoming 5 years. We are going to see.
Excellent, and thank you both for this very good discussion. I think we can turn it over to the audience here for 1 to 2 questions.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that insightful presentation. A quick question. Does Track and Trace have, so firstly, Hilton Stevens from South Africa, PSI. I was wondering, do you guys currently have any partnerships with border controls within Africa regions? I think a big part of where we could possibly flag it initially is through our borders, especially in the SADC region, and I assume in some other parts of Africa as well. We have quite porous borders, which makes it harder to detect, and you can only detect it when the product is in country, and by that time the distribution is really wide. So do you guys currently have any partnerships with customs, etc., where you guys train on identifying these products prior to getting onto the market? Thanks.
Would you like to?
For us in Egypt already, to pass the customs, you should have your UDI. So before implementing this as a regulatory framework inside the Egyptian Drug Authority, it was already implemented in the customs. So it's mandatory in Egypt to have UDI with any organizations that we can track the products through it.
In other African regions outside of Egypt? Sorry, I should have
Yes,
specified.
I'm answering according to
Okay.
Egypt, but
Okay.
if you want to join about track and trace?
Yeah, so far the UDI applications for the medical devices only acceptable legally in Egypt, in whole Africa. The other countries are, there's a lot of discussions about that, but there's not adopted or published regulatory, unfortunately. But some countries like Tunisia or others, in the customs they have some compliance, but it is not related with the tracking the medical device, unfortunately.
Other questions? Well, thank you so much, and thank you. Please join me in thanking the panelists for their wonderful contributions.